Hey, what's up guys? This is Team Hard Life Captain Albert Zertuche, and right here I've got a couple of pictures I downloaded off of Facebook, and it was after a weekend tournament this weekend. I saw there was a lot of hate and discontent in it and stuff like that, and a few people asked me what my thoughts were, and I was like, well, I didn't follow along with the tournament, but I did see the pictures this morning about it, and they go, what do you think? I said, I don't know. I'd have to see the pictures and do my own investigation about it. So what I did is I've downloaded the pictures onto this phone here, and I've uploaded them into my PicsArt here. This allows me to zoom in on the pictures like on really big level, and you can see everything there, you know what I mean? This ensures that, you know, like for instance, this tape measure is hanging off the tip of the alligator gar right there. This is an alligator gar, that's the snout. But you can already see that the tape is hanging off. How much is hanging off? It's hard to tell because right here it gets blurry. I mean, you zoom out and yeah, that could be part of the alligator gar, but it's too pixelated to see it. Even though it's a great picture, I mean, I can zoom in pretty well. That area is really shaded. So normal tournaments, what they'll do is they're gonna put the line exactly where they can confirm exactly where that fish ends, that they can confirm. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna draw a line. Check this out. I'm gonna add a shade.
Gotta bite. I think I got a lot of stress on my mind. It's a nice day to go. Yeah, I gotta learn. I'ma call the whole team.
I'm gonna make it a little bit thinner. That way we can see where it's at. I'm gonna change the color. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw a line on where I think that alligator gar lands. Alright, so right there, let's see. It looks like it's pretty dang close. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this picture, and I'm going to save it. The reason being is I'm going to overlay it, and I'm going to show you how we can figure out exactly how much of that is not part of the actual alligator gar. So again, right there, you can see the edge of the alligator gar right there. You can see the edge of the alligator gar right there. It may be off by a millimeter, which ain't going to change much. But a big distance like that, that's a good 1/4 inch is what it looks like. So let's do this. Let's save it. Save that. Saved it. Done. Go ahead and get the original photo. Where's it at? And you can see I was kind of playing with it, and I was trying to figure out what would be the best way to do this. So I kind of figured this up a little while ago. There's the original picture. Now let's do this. I'm going to add a picture. Add a photo. And I'm going to add the one where I just added that line, and it's this one right here. Add. And I'm going to do opacity about 50%, so that way we can see it on the original one. See that? Go. All right, so that's the right size, because you can see. Oh no, hold on, let's see. Right there, it's in line. All the lines match up. The edge of the tape, that line overlaps right there. That line overlaps right there. That one overlaps right there. Okay, so now that I know what size it is, as long as I don't open or close it, I can use the original picture to measure out how much of that tape does not count. And right there you can see it. Let me get this a little closer for y'all guys. It's a whole 1/4 inch of difference. And I'm using the original tape. See the tape behind it? That's the tape. And it marks out a 1/4 inch of that tape was over that measuring side. So with that being said, whatever the tail measurement shows, it'll be negative 1/4 of an inch. So let's do this. So minus 1/4. All right. So now that we have that, let's go back. We'll discard the changes because we've already seen it. Go like this. Add a new picture. The overall length is right here. And I've already added a line to show that you can see the tail ends up about 1/16 of an inch, a hair over what it looks like to be 80 inches with 3/4 right there. So 80, let's see if you can see my math over here, make sure. Oh, okay, let me move this over. Alright, so there's the negative 1 1/4, or 1/4, and it says 3/4 here. So, or it should be on the bottom. Let's do this, minus 1 1/4. So 1/4 off of that makes that total measurement 8.5 or 80.5 inches. And that's just going off of the pictures right there. Okay, so that's one of the alligator gar. Now we're going to go back out. I'm going to go to the other alligator gar. Right here. It's this one. It's got the white tape. Now, same thing. His finger is blocking the end of the tape right here, so we can't tell where it actually is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing. However, you can see where the alligator gar comes to right there and comes to right there. So I'm going to draw a line from there to there. Draw. There. Color. Boom. And it looks about right. Let's see. Yep, that's right there. You can see that's the farthest portion. That one ends there, but this one ends here. All right, so let's save that. Done. Go and go back to the original, which is this one right here. Come on, edit. All right. Now we're going to overlay it with the other picture, which is that one right there. Add. And I'm going to do the opacity 50% so we can see it over this other one. Right there. Perfect. Now let's do this. Let's move it over, and you're going to see what I'm doing here is see how it says 1 inch right here, but we need to see how much it actually extends this way to measure out that nose. So I'm going to go from the 1, I'm going to line it up with the 2 mark right there. See, there's the 2 mark, sorry, right there. And it says 3/4 of an inch, there to there. So they're missing 1/4 of an inch. So let's take the 1/4 of an inch off over here on this one. Now let's go measure, or go look at the full length picture that they have. See, oh, where is that one at? Oh, right here. Check this out. Okay, so there you go. It shows 80 3/4 of an inch, but that's a hair over, kind of the same way as that one. Not really too worried about that. You know what I mean? You can see it. It's a hair over it. So this one measures 80 3/4 of an inch again. And they too lost 1/4 of an inch, so it's 80.5. Well, at this point, those 2 alligator gar are exactly the same length after you subtract both sides of right there. So I know they have a secondary deal where they have to measure the girth and stuff like that. Like I said, I didn't follow through the whole conversation, but if I was looking at just measuring the the full lengths and going off of the photos, that's the way I would have done it and gone from there. So at that point, that's where they're at. They're both at 80.5 inches, not 80 3/4 of an inch. So food for thought, guys. So go and figure out, do this unboxing, and we did get a tackle industry or a Team Hard Life rod in. Sorry. This is a rain shadow. Well, you can see the wrap of the layer of carbon, or the carbon fiber, going into the other one. Rod. This is an extra heavy, super fast, 7 foot, 130 unlimited rod.
That's bigger than the other ones.
Yeah, they are longer than our other ones. Normally the ones we use for the Team Hard Life rods, the shark rods, are these solid glass ones right here. And I mean, you can feel them. They're about the same in weight. But obviously, height difference is about 1.5 foot.
Shit, more than that.
I think about 1.5 foot. Yeah.
Yeah. Looks a lot bigger.
It looks, yeah. Alright. So what we're gonna have to do is get this one built up, because we're gonna be doing some testing on it. And that's the rod that
It's a rain shadow?
7 foot rod. Yep. It's supposed to be a big step up from that rod to this rod. We'll see. Be one of our next rod builds right there. And then this one's one of our Team Hard Life rods came in. Customer wanted some blue and black. However, this one actually is available for sale. So, it's a 9 foot tackle industry, extra heavy rod right there. So, yeah. Yes, sir. A lot of work as we're preparing for the storm that's supposed to hit starting tomorrow, so we'll see what's up. But we're going to keep working at it, doing what we got to do here, try to bring everything inside. And I know we're going to get flooded like crazy because the property managers, they still have not done anything about the corner of the building where it floods in. So I don't know. It's pretty depressing when I've been paying for so many years to rent the place, and they can't even fix that one corner. So, all right, guys. One of the things that I wanted to talk about a little more in length was the measuring of fish for tournaments, guys. You got to remember that the judges got to be able to see the full length of the fish, and just like any game warden's going to do, they're going to move the tail to see what is the longest length they can get out of that fish. So in doing that, they put the tape behind the fish's tail, and they have the tail here, and they move it up and down to find the longest length. Now, obviously, being there in person, they can see a lot more than what you could if you're doing a picture or a photo. So you got to make sure that that nose or that tail is completely lit up and be able to contrast from the measuring tape that you're measuring against, guys. Yes, if this is the longest point, but you have the tail over it like this, or the tape over it like this, you're not, you could be missing up to 1/2 inch because of that marker right there, guys. So it's what you can prove in every single picture, guys. If you're like this and you put the tail right there, you done lost a lot of length right there. I mean, that's actually 3/4 of an inch right there, all because of the poor placement of your tape. So when you do it, what I like to do with my sharks is I put the tail in front of the tape, so that way you can see that little indentation, or that, you know, that extra amount right there come out behind, in front of the tape right there, and you'll still see all the inches, so they know you're in the right direction, guys. So that's just a little food for thought on that. If you're ever in that kind of situation, do your best to show the both ends of the fish, you know what I mean? And a lot of the pictures that you see when I go to tournaments, you'll see a picture where we have the tape down the line from the head to the tail, a long way this way, and then you'll also see, okay, it's at the head all the way to the tail, and then the final tail measurement. This is stuff that you got to do quickly, because for us in shark fishing, it's all about getting the shark back in the water quickly. Drum, you know, you have a little bit of leeway because a lot of times it's cold, wet, and rainy when you're doing it. But still, you don't want to keep them out of the water too long. Redfish the same way. Alligator gar, they can actually breathe air, but you're putting all that weight on their guts and stuff like that, so you don't want to keep them out of the water a crazy amount of time. But it's just a little food for thought, guys. A lot of people will get angry saying, hey, I know what I measured, I know. Sorry, guys, at the end of the day, it's what you can prove. And here's the front here. Actually, I'm looking at a tape measure right here, and the other thing is too, this is why we stopped using this tape measure right here, because it's starting to fade on the sizes of inches and stuff like that. Now toward this end, it's a lot clearer, but a lot of tournaments will disqualify you if they cannot see that 1 inch and all the little markers there. That's another thing too. And again, look, so right there I can show that that's the correct size. But if you have it like this, you don't see it. You really don't know, you know what I mean? So, and then over here on the small end, we really don't know what size it is at that point, you know what I mean? Even if either side, it does not matter. So it's just a little bit of, a little harder work that you gotta do on your behalf, or whoever is helping you measure. You know, tell them to keep that tape straight, and, you know, to support the fish in a way that you can get the longest length. Because as you saw in the video, there was one little indentation that came out. And in some tournaments, that may have made the winning, you know, that 1/16 of an inch, you know, or a 32nd of an inch would have gotten you that win right there. So really, you know, you got to do your best to show the entire tape and the entire fish, especially if it has, you know, like I said, an indentation that comes out a little further than what the tape is showing. Just food for thought, guys. You know, keep that in mind. So that way, if you run into that, you've got everything showing, and okay, it's a legit win, or it was a questionable win.